Hello, and welcome. My name is Renee Bartlett. I'm a non-diet nutritionist and intuitive eating counselor. And in this really quick video, I just want to explain to you what exactly is intuitive eating. If you're new to my community, if you are new to this concept, you might be wondering what on earth this is. Now, first and foremost, intuitive eating is not a diet. And I don't mean that in some weird way to try and get you into something that's not a diet, but actually is a diet. It's actually not a diet. And the reason for this is the whole purpose of intuitive eating is to help you reject dieting. And that's one of the first principles that is covered in the intuitive eating framework is rejecting diet culture. But before I get into that, essentially where intuitive eating came from was these two amazing ladies who created this framework back in the 90s. And what they did is they developed a self-care framework, a set of guidelines on how you can reconnect with your body and create a positive relationship with food, yourself, and your body. So what they did is they outlined these 10 principles. It doesn't need to be followed all in a specific order. There are no rules, there are no restrictions, but simply a process that you can take on board based on where you're at and where you're comfortable and start to create that relationship with yourself again. Now, as I mentioned, one of the first principles is ditching diet culture. The reason why this is so important is this principle allows us to really see where our food rules and restrictions have come from and why we think the way we do about food. And you may have started to get a little bit of understanding in taking the quiz that I put you through, and understanding your eating style has been influenced by all of these different things that you've been exposed to in your lifetime, be it from parents, caregivers, teachers, friends, neighbors, media. Everything has dictated how you approach food. So one of the very first things that we do together in intuitive eating is we understand where that comes from, and then we go about changing it. Now, throughout this whole process, as I said, it's a framework, it's a guideline, and there are principles, but what essentially it helps you to do is to understand what your body is telling you in relation to your hunger, fullness, getting satisfaction from food, how to deal with emotions in other ways than just using food, how to incorporate exercise into your life that doesn't become so strict and regimented, but instead becomes from a place of enjoyment, and also how to nourish yourself in a way that isn't from a place of diet, isn't from a place of trying to manipulate or change your body. It's a whole concept that takes you on this journey where essentially you become the expert of your own body, and you should be. Someone like me as a nutritionist cannot tell you how much food you need on any given day, or what your body really needs at this particular time, or what you should be eating, or how certain foods feel in your body. Only you know that. And if you're finding that that's confusing, then that's completely normal, because you have probably been told your whole life what you should be eating, how much you should be eating, when you should be eating. We follow all of these rules and restrictions, and we're left a little bit confused as to what our body really needs and what we should be having. Intuitive eating just helps you get back to your basics. So that is one of the main tools that I use in my one-on-one coaching to help people like you create a positive relationship with food. Once we've done that, then we can start to explore the nuances of your chronic illness and disease to see whether there is food that is playing a role and a trigger in your health. And if not, then we've also started incorporating some self-care practices as a result of doing this intuitive eating framework. So really, we're looking at health from a new perspective. We're not just looking through the lens of just diet alone. We aren't just looking through a lens of lifestyle. We're being realistic here and creating something that works for you together. So I hope that that was helpful. And if you have any more questions about intuitive eating or my processes, then I would love to hear from you. Bye for now.